Hey everyone, Pandaros here. So welcome to my YouTube channel. First off, this is the first video I will be posting. Um, we are going to be playing Colony Survival. For those of you who don't know what Colony Survival is, it is a voxel engine game. Um, and you have to manage colonists with this. So you create a colony and defend against waves of monsters at night. Um, and so it's kind of like a colony, it's kind of like a colonist management. So you got simulation game along with kind of tower defense and Minecraft building, essentially. So it's all these things wrapped up into one game. Um, this is an indie game. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. If you're watching this, you've probably heard it and probably have played it. And Um, I do a lot of modding on this game. So I have a mod about 3 years old now that I've been working on. It's called the Settlers mod. And I also have a texture pack for the mod based off of the popular Minecraft mod BD Craft. So um, I ported that texture pack over to Colony Survival, and you'll see that in game. And I made a lot of the textures 3D and uh, gave them texture to the surfaces and of the objects in the game. So you'll see that during the series. And all of the things, including the link to the Colony Survival game, can be found in the description down below. So, with that said, I will be giving for the series. I'll be giving developer insights on my mod and why I made some of the decisions I did, and I'll also be bringing you through kind of my building process when I make a colony. And we'll be making some crazy things. We're going to be making uh, we'll be making some out of the box stuff for sure. And I have some crazy ideas, and I'm going to show you some of the best features of my mod uh, during this during this stream. I won't show you all the features because there are too many to count. There are like hundreds of new research. We change a ton of things, but I have some very cool stuff that I've added to this game that makes the game even more fun than it is just by itself. And I cannot recommend this game enough. So, if you have an extra 25 bucks, I think it is or so, definitely pick this up. You will not be disappointed. Highly recommend it. Mod the hell out of it because it's one of those games that you can just mod the hell out of it and like Minecraft, and it just brings it to that next level. So I would recommend playing it vanilla, play through, see how the gameplay feels, and then, you know, like Skyrim, 100 mods, dump them in. You know what I mean? So super fun stuff. I think you guys will love it. Um, we're about to jump into the first episode here. Before we begin, quick note on the first episode. I streamed this on Twitch on Pandaros, twitch.com/Pandaros_TV. So if you want to find me there, I'm there Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time to 10 p.m. Eastern time. You can find me over there on Twitch. And the first episode, when I recorded it, I had an old Logitech camera connected here, and it was actually recording the audio instead of my Yeti Black, my Yeti Professional X Black. So the audio sounds distant and is out of sync with the GoPro here. So I apologize for that. I'll try to. The second episode and onward, I've cleaned up the quality of the video and the audio. So you'll see much better quality in both audio and video quality in the second episode. But with that said, without further ado, please enjoy the first episode of my Colony Survival series. And there will be many more games and many more series coming. So definitely subscribe if you can and like the video, like every other YouTube channel on the platform. and I definitely appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and enjoy.
All right. So we're starting a new colony again. I've created a server for people to come on here. So we've got I see a few colonies off in the distance. People have been putting these poles up too, probably as markers. So we're gonna have to start our colony over again. So I've updated the version because there was a lighting update and I didn't have it. It's also the reason why my mods weren't working. But before I generated this world, I tested it in another one, and everything seems to be working now. So what we're gonna do, let's get all this stuff. Oh, it's shift click. Let's get all of this stuff in here. Let's make a bunch of planks. So we're gonna put together a castle up here. And we'll use some of this wood too. We'll use the log tag as looks. We're nice. We're gonna start a new. But this time, this is not single player. I've set up my server, and we're going full. We're going full multiplayer. So I think everything's working. My texture pack is in. We've got everything good to go. We're going to go through the process of setting up the base again. It sucks. When I first initialized the server, I came and I clear cut this hill off stream this morning. So all the trees around it, and that's because I wanted to get a good view, and particularly on this side. So this hilltop I chose specifically to make my kind of castle on. I'm going to make a small keep here because over there, that's where the big castle is going to be. It's going to be like protruding from this. And actually, let's go over here. I want to show you guys this. Usually this generates a lot of hills, but this over here generated very cool. So there's this this is protruded from the side, and it's basically straight down all the way up to the top of this thing. So you see the stone exposed as we go to the top here, and I actually want to put a colony right up here. So or my castle. So this overlooks a lot from here, and we'll get these trees and whatnot cleared out, but. Yeah, this is where I ultimately want to put my big castle when we've expanded enough. So you'll be able to. It'll overlook the peasants down there in that smaller colony. I don't know who. Hello down there. So we'll get all this cleaned up later. But just wanted to show you guys. This is the grand plan. I got my texture pack here. This is so the BD Craft texture pack is actually a popular Minecraft texture pack, and what I've done is I spent about 2 months porting it over. So like a lot of these textures, because it's not just the texture. If you look, it's not just reskinning the blocks. It's actually textured. So if you look at these blocks and stuff, they actually have bumps in them and whatnot to make it more three-dimensional. So that took me a couple months to port all these textures over and 3D them and whatnot to give them that 3D effect. And I did it to a whole bunch of stuff, even we'll make a couple quarter blocks here, because normally quarter blocks are exactly like this picture. I didn't redo the picture for the quarter blocks, but the quarter blocks are just flat gray. But when you place these are not flat gray. These are actually the same way the stone bricks look. So if I take some stone bricks here and I put them next to the blocks, you now have stairs, right? bam, and it's in the same style, so you get that look of stairs, and I've done that for all of the texturing for this texture pack. It took me a very long time. But anyway, we should get going on some base setup again for the third time. Third day in a row, base setup, exciting stuff. So yeah, let's get the base set up. Whoops, that's cool. When you put a torch in your hand, it lights up the area around you. That's neat. That's like pressing G. It's the same effect. When I press G, it makes a light. Alright, so, okay, so we got that. Alright, yeah, that should be fine. Alright, and then let's go find the other corner here. We're gonna put a like a 2-high wall all the way around, and then we'll pick one side to actually put our entrance on. I'm thinking we're gonna put our entrance in this direction, because spawn is over yonder in that direction, so when if people want to come see the castle and whatnot we'll be building, they can check that out. And I've also put a couple of mods on with some decorative blocks that I was checking them out to make sure that they would use the textures, and they do. They'll use the wood textures that I have here, so I don't know how those are going to look, because they're not like, oh look at this, I didn't get everything. They're not like truly they're not like, I didn't test it out. I didn't like give myself God mode or anything, so to loot everything. So where are we? Oh, right here. Okay. All right, that should be okay. Perfect. And this is and I chose this spot too because it's fairly flat, so it'll be nice and easy to build on. Even though it's on top of a mountain, we're still fairly flat, so it'll be super easy to make the fence around this and lay down the various farms that we'll need throughout the game. And yeah, another thing this texture pack does is all the icons and stuff that are part of the default game are redone. So and everything's retextured, so like the bread icon and this axe and all this stuff, and even in the like the water gathering and the banner radius, like I remade all of this stuff inside of, so all of the settlers icons, these ones here, I didn't retexture those, only because there's literally, settlers literally has like 200 and some odd research, science. So it would have been a lot of work. So they're not really together, and I'd also have to retexture everything too. And it would have been nuts. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I put 3 years into the mod. I'm actually adding another feature right now. I'll probably release it at some point this weekend. I'm gonna keep that berry bush there. I'm gonna actually add another feature to the mod. I need more. Yeah, we need light. Yeah, that's good. To add a battle summary every day, so it'll say like how many creatures how many monsters you've killed that night, and how much damage, if any, your colonists took, and how many people died, and I want to put how much ammo they used too, which is going to be a little tricky. That's the part I'm figuring out now, is how to capture how much of each ammo type gets used in a day. I think it'll be really nice statistic to have to kind of figure out what you need to do as far as ammo production. Look at this. Bam. All right. Awesome. Wait a second. Yes. Yes, that works. So one of the things I do when I increase the banner radius when I play this game is rather than having the banner radius just expand on all sides, I You're on stream right now. So you have to have a path for everybody to get through, for the zombies to get through, or else you go into siege mode. So you just have to prevent siege mode. So we're just going to walk the path one time, just as a quick check, to make sure we're not going to trigger siege mode. So you can't have your flag further than 500 blocks from the entrance. If they have to travel more than 500 blocks, you're screwed. So you can't make like a huge maze that goes out into, you know, the wilderness. You know, I can't make a bridge that goes all the way out to, over to that thing over there. So what we're going to walk through to get to my flag. That won't work. We're going to set up this is going to be the entrance, and we'll have to make it abundantly apparent that this is where you get in. So if anybody comes on the server, they can find it easily. Not that they can't just like jump in, but bam. All right, that's our little archway. This is going to be a little jank while we get everything set up. So this top area, we're going to build a little hut on, and then we'll have our fields over here. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of a maze here. We're not gonna get too crazy with it, but what we're gonna do is, I think we're gonna yeah, we'll start here. I might leave your colony, bro. I wish the messages would show up. No thanks. I clear cut my side, so I'm actually good on wood. I cleared all this land of wood, so I actually have tons of wood. And I'm going to have tons of resources once I get rolling here. I'm just doing the initial setup of the colony, and oh yeah, we don't want monsters to be able to get in this trench. The only way we want them to escape the trench, because they might spawn down here, is by going to the end of the trench. Other than that, monsters don't come out of the trench. All right, so this is the end of it. So we actually need to turn around right here, actually. So this is a good point for us to, let's put that piece back, and then we'll do like this. So the trench, what we'll do is we'll make a little tunnel underneath so they can get out the other side, like so. So that's good. And then otherwise, they have to go around in the maze. So this is the exit to the trench right here. And then this will still allow them to get up here to go into the... Yes. Okay. Perfect. But what's cool is once you have all this set up, the angle of this won't really make it apparent that it's trenched. So, and then same from the bottom. When you're down here, you can't tell that I have a maze. You can't tell that I'll have a maze going here, so it won't be immediately apparent when you're down at the bottom. Alright, so let's continue our trench. We don't want monsters walking in the trench all the time. We want them to have a very long walk out. So we're not going to give them immediate ways of escaping the trench unless they get out of here. Because we want them to get out of here and then have to walk all the way to the entrance of the maze, which will make the maze longer. So if they spawn in the trench, they have a very, very long walk to the beginning. So you have to space these out because the mod will complain your beds are too close. Turns out colonists like living space. So we got to accommodate them. Looks very much like Minecraft Speedy Craft because it is. You know, to make this chopped wood, I literally just took the texture for the top of this thing and then cut it into like 6 or 7 pieces. Okay, so let's get some guards going. So we'll go into here. We'll get guards. We want one daytime slinger. And we'll make him the king of the mountain because he's got the most to worry about. Because he's the only one out during the day. But the nighttime, we'll put one on this side and we'll put one on the other side. And the leech shoot at 50%. And, okay, and we're also going to want 4 to 6 berry farmers. And we're going to put the berry farmers up over here, only because it's easier for the berry farmers to be on multi-level ground than because they're smaller. So if it's easier to find a 5x5 area of multi-level than that isn't multi-level too much outside of the max dimension that this thing could be than having a 10x10 area. Because 10x10 areas are very big. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5. We'll break those. We'll make one more 5x5 area, and then we'll put a, that's way too big. You want to keep these as small as possible with the berries. And the reason for that is, you know, you want to decrease the walking time of the colonist, number 1. And number 2 is having more berry bushes doesn't up your productivity. So if your berry area is so big, you're just using more area for no additional productivity. Now the same is not true for, because the berry bushes are infinitely harvestable, but something like a wheat field, that is not infinitely harvestable. That grows every 3 days, so you want to make those as large as possible, while the berry bushes, you want to make them as small as possible because they're there all the time. You can just infinitely harvest berries off of them. We'll go into colony management. This is part of my mod, and I'm gonna say max, and I'm just gonna recruit all the berry boys I can, and we'll hire those guys, and those guys will come out and they'll immediately start harvesting berries. And this is what the modded colonists look like, by the way. I've skinned those guys too. So they're gonna head over here. They're gonna start planting berry bushes. So, oh, you know what we'll also have to do? We'll also have to get the slingers recruited. And we'll recruit 1 crafter. So this is the very basic starting. So we're at 9 colonists. Now, I usually set this up to 500. So at 9 colonists, you don't quite get settlers yet. You start getting settlers at 10 colonists. And as you can see, this is very intentional. This is very intentional because I wanted people to be able to make a few berry bushes, get things kind of set up. Not a lot of people build their perimeter and, you know, make a little place to start before they actually start doing things. So what ends up happening is they die once colonists start coming. Oh, now that we've hired everybody, We can't hire anybody else unless we want to be penalized for it. We have to kind of let people come naturally. Uh, and you're penalized by happiness. So that every person you hire past after 10, you'll actually get deducted one happiness for 24 hours. Um, and in the happiness menu it'll say slaves bought. And that's because you forced someone to join your colony rather than letting it happen naturally. So other parts of this mod you'll see here. These are the built-in ones. Recruitment costs 50% of normal, science speed 100%, additional skill chance and skilled settler chance. So skilled workers can proc additional items. So there's things like mana that can possibly proc additional items such as aether, which is another crafting material, but it's a byproduct of mana. So when someone's skilled, it means you get a 3% additional chance to proc that. And a skilled settler will have a 5% base chance. So inside of here, when you see you have a settler that you get will have a 6% chance of being skilled. So that means their base skill chance to proc either an additional item or a bonus item, which is a byproduct of crafting something, such as aether is to mana, you'll get, if that person is skilled, they'll get an 8% chance to proc it, or 9%. So it ups it quite substantially. And the happier people are, the higher additional skill chance you get, and the higher settler chance you get. Of course, also the happier colony is, the higher chance you'll get to get settlers, to get people to come. And there's more than just that drives that than just that. So the number of open beds and the number of open jobs also greatly drives that number. So you want to have lots of open beds and lots of open jobs.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the first episode here. I was originally gonna put everything I had from my first day of streaming into the first episode, but there was so much good information in here, and so many tips and information about the mod. Um, I decided to make kind of an extra long first episode, and we're gonna have a second episode of day one. So the audio sync issues will be in the second episode, and the kind of diminished quality from me having my settings incorrect on Twitch in OBS. So apologize for that again. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, next episode we're gonna start the mine and get some production going and all of that stuff, and I'll be explaining that whole process. So if you're new to the game, you can kind of get a really good idea on how to build up your colony, to keep up with all of the monsters and risk that come with this mod. All right. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.